If you were friends with one and you were kind of like, hey, we're going to play hide and seek with your body, but this time there are stakes. Because if
you don't find it, you're fucked.
Yeah.
It was nice knowing you. You were a great friend, but hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista, baby. All right. That was the Rokuro Kubi.
They're fun. They're anime. You would see that shit on fucking any anime ever.
Oh no, it is an anime.
And you would not be surprised whatsoever.
Yeah, it is a huge part of anime culture.
I'm telling you, dude, that's just Japan.
Indeed. Now, this next one can piss right off.
This is a long story.
Yeah, this one's a long story, and I think that it would behoove our listeners if we read it. We're gonna try to power through. We're gonna try to read it. We're probably gonna make some jokes. But I want to give our source, by the way, if you want. This is a super fun website. I know it's. Oh man, it's so lame. I was stuck in a hole on this website the other night for quite some time. It's called scaryforkids.com/8-feet-tall. That's where you can find this, where we're going to read this. And that was also where we got the Icicle Woman. I wanted to shout that this page out. Because basically it's just a site with like, it's like creepypasta, but it's like more formatted. You can search things easier. Like, I don't know. It's basically just another creepypasta, and it's a fun site. It's fun.
It just made me think that all of these stories are told to children to like keep them from doing dumb shit.
Yeah. This one doesn't seem like that because the kid didn't do anything wrong. She was just there. But here's what I'm gonna say. If you like to partake in any substances or anything like that, now would be the time. Because this is creepy. And if you want to throw a beer into your gullet, or, if you want to suckle on some sweet crystal meth, it's the time.
Please don't do meth, but I mean, like, if you want to.
All I'm saying is that, like, this one you want to be in a fun headspace for. And you know what the most fun headspace is, Gabe?
Drunk. Sobriety. Oh. Never heard of her.
But anyways. You wanna take it away?
Sure. We're gonna have to read exponentially more. So we're just gonna go for a minute.
This story is called Hachi Shaku Sama.
That seems right. Yeah, I think you did pretty well that time.
Hachi Shaku Sama. Yeah, it roughly translates to 8 feet tall. This is essentially the Japanese version of Slender Man.
It's Babadook, dude.
It kind of does sound like Babadook, honestly. But
here we go.
You want to take it away?
My grandparents lived in Japan. Every summer, my parents would take me there on holiday to visit them. They lived in a small village and they had a big backyard. Oh, I loved to play there during the summer. When we arrived, my grandparents always welcomed me with open arms. I was their only grandchild, so they spoiled me. The last time I saw them was the summer when I was 8 years old. As usual, my parents booked a flight to Japan and we drove from the airport to my grandparents' house. They were delighted to see me and had a lot of little presents to give me. My parents wanted to have some time for themselves. So after a few days, they took a trip to another part of Japan, leaving me in the care of my grandma and grandpa.
What happens if grandma and grandpa want some time to themselves?
You let your kid get kidnapped by the Hachisinku Sama.
Yeah, that's the case. Yeah. One day, I was playing out in the backyard. My grandparents were inside the house. It was a hot summer day. We get it. It was hot. And I lay down on the grass to rest. She said that earlier. Or he. I stared up at the clouds. Enjoy the feeling of the soft rays of sun. Gentle breeze. Just as I was about to get up, I heard a strange sound. I don't know how I want to try this one. I don't know the bit that I want to try. We're going to try a bunch over the course. Po, 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 po!
See, you've already fucked up.
I didn't know what it was, and I had to figure out where it was coming from. It sounded almost like somebody was making the noise themselves, as if they were saying, po, 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 over and over again in a deep masculine voice. Oh, I totally fucked that up.
Yeah, see, you already messed up.
Po!
It
Yeah,
just sounds like
that one's good.
It just sounds like a shitty Pokemon.
I was looking around, searching for the source of the noise, when I suddenly heard or noticed something on the top of the tall hedges that enclosed the back. I don't know how to read. It was a straw hat. It wasn't resting on the hedge. It was behind it. Shit!
Dun, dun, dun.
That's where the sound was coming from. Po! Po! That doesn't sound creepy to me, though. I feel like it would actually be creepier if it was, like, more feminine.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Po! Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I don't care. Then the hat began to move, as if someone was wearing it. The hat stopped at a small gap in the hedge, and I could see a face peering through. It was a woman, but the hedges were high, almost 8 feet tall. Wait. Almost Hachi Shaka Sama.
Wow, do you speak Japanese?
Yeah, dude, I do. I totally do. Yeah, I'm fluent. I'm bilingual. That's my first language.
I was surprised at how tall the woman was. I wondered if she was wearing stilts or some sort of huge high-heeled shoes.
So stilts.
I just, like, damn, she's wearing 3 pairs of stilettos at the same time. Then a split second later, she walked off, and the strange noise disappeared with her, fading into the distance. Bewildered, I got up and wandered back into the house. My grandparents were in the kitchen drinking tea. I sat down at the table, and after a while, I told my grandparents what I had seen. They weren't really paying attention to me until I mentioned that distinctive sound. Bo. 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 As soon as I said
now,
that...
that's actually creepy. I like that.
Thank you.
I like that. It's because it's not as, like, bo. I like that. But basically the conversation that this kid had with their grandparents was like, hey, guys, so I was, like, in the back, and I was, like, looking up at this icicle, right? Totally beating it off. All right, and then I just saw this hat, and then the hat moved, and there was a face under the hat.
And then there was a ground, but it was, like, 8 feet below the face.
And I was like, I don't remember, when on the way into town seeing a really big high-heeled shoe store, so I don't know why I jumped to that conclusion. But, yeah, it was saying some pretty weird shit. It kept saying po over
and they were like,
over. Yeah.
What the fuck? What did you say?
As soon as I said that, both of them suddenly froze. Grandma's eyes grew wide, and she covered her mouth with her hand. Grandpa's face became very serious, and he grabbed me by my arm. This is very important, he said, in an intense voice. This is very important! You must tell us exactly how tall was she. As tall as the garden hedge, I replied, beginning to get a little scared.
I'm confused by this, because I feel like when you tell your grandparents that you've seen this, you open with the fact that this chick was like fucking 8 feet tall. Yeah. And they're like, shut the fuck up, whatever. And then you say fucking, yeah, and she just kept saying po, and they're like, what? How tall was she?
Yeah, that would, to me, would be like kind of my number one question, but I don't understand too much about the Japanese family structure. So maybe they don't listen to kids. I'm being serious about that.
That's
I'm
fair.
not making a joke. Maybe they don't, maybe culturally, they don't, I don't know. I know my parents didn't take me serious when I was a kid, but I never saw a woman in a straw hat with a man's voice that said po.
I just feel like they would have recognized it before he or she mentioned the Poe part. How many
Yeah,
8 feet tall women are in Asia?
I probably not that many. Probably not that many.
Let's see here. My grandfather bombarded me with questions. Where was she standing? When did this happen? What did you do? Did she see you? I tried to answer all of his questions as best I could. He suddenly rushed out to the hallway and made a phone call. I couldn't hear what he was saying. I looked over at my grandma, and she was trembling. Grandpa came barging back into the room and spoke to my grandmother. I've got to go out for a while, he said. You stay here with the child. Don't take your eyes off him for a second. What's going on, Grandpa? I cried. He looked at me with a sad expression in his eyes and he said, You've been liked by Hachi Shaku-sama. With that, he hurried out, got into his truck, and drove off.
You've been liked by an 8-foot tall demon. I'm sorry to tell you.
It's been nice knowing you. Me and Gam Gam would like some alone time.
I turned to my grandmother and cautiously asked, "Who is Hachishaku-sama?" I tried really fast on that one. It didn't sound as good. Hachishaku-sama.
You got it.
All right, whatever. Don't worry, she replied in a shaking... Don't worry, she replied in a shaking voice. Grandpa will do something. There's no need for you to worry. As we sat nervously in the kitchen waiting for my grandfather to come back, she explained what was happening. She told me there was a dangerous thing that was haunting the area. They called it Hachishaku-sama because of its height. In Japanese, it means 8 feet tall. It takes on the appearance of an extremely tall woman and makes the sound po in a deep male voice. It appears slightly different depending on who sees it. Some say it looks like a haggard old woman in a kimono, and others say it's a girl in a white funeral shroud. Fuck that shit. That would probably be the one that I saw.
Is it scarier for you if she's giant, like tall?
I think... Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm thinking about it. Here's the thing. I gotta chill out right now. Can you read first?
I imagine if I ever saw something like that and it was 8 feet tall, I would be less scared because that motherfucker's got to be clumsy.
Well, have you ever seen It Follows?
Yeah.
The tall guy in that was not that. He was not that uncoordinated. He was very coordinated. He opened the door right up, no problem.
But I feel like walking towards someone is not too bad.
But
like I can outrun that always.
Yeah, that's true. It's just constant running. Constant fear for your life.
One thing that never changes is its height and the sound it makes. A long time ago, it was captured by monks, and they managed to confine it in a ruined building on the outskirts of the village. They trapped it using 4 small religious statues called Jizos that they placed at the north, south, east, and west of the ruins, and it wasn't supposed to be able to move from there, but somehow it managed to escape. The last time it appeared was 15 years ago. My grandmother said that anyone who saw 8 feet...
Anyone who saw 8 feet tall.
My grandmother said that anyone who saw 8 feet tall was destined to die within a few days. It all sounded so crazy. I wasn't sure to believe.
That's Mrs. Tall to you.
Why do scary things have the worst names ever?
I don't know. Hachi Shaka Suma? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but it's just 8 feet tall.
Yeah. I guess in Japanese, I wonder, because I mean, you know, I don't know what speaking another language is like. I've only took Spanish 1 and I failed almost. So, you know, I don't really know a lot about like how the brain processes other languages other than English, because that's all I know. And I wonder if in Japan, when they hear that, they're like, yeah, we just call this monster 8 feet tall.
So it's just very funny to me.
Yeah.
We have it too. We've got shitty names for our monsters.
Like what?
Bigfoot.
He's got a big foot!
He's got a big foot.
Don't you ever fucking come for Bigfoot again.
The chupacabra is called goat sucker.
Well, that's isn't.